Good morning. It is the 16th of August, Saturday. This is one of my new rogue tomato plants growing right here at my deck. It's got some flowers coming in. At least I won't have to walk too far to get some new tomatoes. All right, let's go to the garden. So it's still standing after all these months, so that's a good sign. I had to pop the fence here so that I could pick some of the soybeans. So they're coming in nice and strong. So you can see down there. Look at that cluster of soybeans. So they say you pick them when they're bright green and they're plump. I haven't figured that all out. Yeah, so that's fun. One of the tomato plants finally did grow. And I got 2 tomatoes coming in right there. And then that was my big strong one back there, and it didn't do as well as I thought, but hey, it hung in. And he's even producing a tomato. I know this one's the Black Prince tomato. I don't know what this one is, but we'll find out, won't we? This tomato plant's also coming in, but all of my other tomato plants didn't make it. Another soybean. Look at the cluster. Beans didn't pop very well, but I still have my purple beans that grow right there. It is time to start planting some fall beans. So I got plenty of room. It'll make it easy because nothing really grew, so we'll be good. There are 4 of my 5 sunflowers. Yes, you can only see 4 stems. 1 never really came through, so there was 5, but I got 1. And it's kind of fun to watch them in the morning. Right now, the flower is facing where the sun's going to come up. And when I come out in the evening, he will be facing where the sun is setting. It's kind of fun to watch the rotation. That would be fun to have on time-lapse photography. Lesson. These are strawberries. Strawberries you do not plant every year, supposedly. Strawberries are an annual plant. So all those strawberries that I had last year that were surviving and didn't produce any fruit, I should not have thrown these away. So now I have a strawberry field right here. I wonder if that's what they meant by strawberry fields forever. But we won't get into that Beatles song. We'll leave it alone. The squash didn't really make it, but hey, it hung in there. So we'll figure out what we're going to do and what we're going to put here because it's got some fall planting to do. He hung in another squash or eggplant. I got another baby eggplant coming in. So this will be the second one. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's my watermelon. So this morning I spent time and raised it off the ground because it's a spreader. So I'm trying to centralize it, but at the same time to keep the fruit up and keep it all happy. So we'll figure it out. There are the peanuts back there. Haven't really done anything, so I'm not sure there's anything underneath, but hey, we got them started, so it's a good starter. My celery, that's it. Never really produced anything, not sure why, but we keep trying. It keeps trying to make some new baby leaves in here, so we'll see. Maybe one day I will. These got eaten alive. There is a caterpillar that came in and had a great field day on my broccoli and my Brussels sprouts and my cabbage. So that's all that's left of it. Good thing is some of these things I can plant for fall. So we're probably going to pull them and try again. Learned a lesson. Corn will not grow in a raised flower garden. So I was always at a disadvantage, but I think I got pretty good pretty far. This vine behind it is my cantaloupes. And so I did have a spaghetti squash right there. I think he got drowned with all the other stuff, so I might try again because I can harvest him into the fall, so that will be good. But there is a cantaloupe. And then up here, I spent this whole morning trying to get all the vines off the ground because they're spreading. So these are all cantaloupes. This is all cantaloupe vines. And so we got a cantaloupe here. We got another one coming in there. Got some babies growing there. There's a whole bunch in here. There's another one there. So we're gonna have some cantaloupes this fall. The last one, oh, here's one too back here. Hey, cantaloupe. Yeah, the last one I picked right at the end of where it's gonna turn from being ripe to overdone. And I ate it within 24 hours. Probably the best, juiciest watermelon I had. And probably only because I grew it. It was so good. These are all the pickles, cucumbering pickles. So I did learn a lesson. So all the pickles you've seen upstairs, or the cucumbers you've seen upstairs, is because I overgrew my pickling cucumbers. What happens if you overgrow your pickling cucumbers? They become quote unquote bitter. But the good thing about a bitter pickling cucumber is they end up tasting just like cucumbers. So I just been eating them. The other good thing is chickens love cucumbers, and it's a really good source of water for them. So we've all been sharing in the overgrown pickling cucumbers. We are this weekend going to try, though, with the larger ones and slice them, so maybe we can pickle them and put them onto the top of hamburgers, you know, because they were pretty big. So we think they'd fit a whole burger. So anyways, this is it. You got a pickling cucumber down here. There's a lot all over the place. There's something coming in there. Here's a small pickling cucumber. There was one over here somewhere, but we won't worry about it. So what happens is we have to, when this cucumber right here gets to be 6 inches long, that is when you pick a pickling cucumber. So we'll have to learn what 6 inches looks like. So yeah, so it's all these little fun things. And then the difference is that when it's 6 inches and you pick them, they're much sweeter than if you turn around and wait for them to grow up to be real cucumbers. They're still good, but they're not as sweet and won't be as enjoyable. So those are that. All the peppers that were underneath got smothered. So we don't have any peppers underneath anymore. Oh, there's one pickling right there. I think he's almost ready. We'll have to pick him before we leave. So turn around. This is sweet potatoes. I seem to be doing okay. My potatoes, they're still harvesting. You don't harvest them until the leaves fall off and the stems fall. But it's just really interesting. They say 45 days. They've been here for quite a while and they're still flowering, which means they're still producing. So I'm just going to let them go and ride through. We're going to learn a lot. Oh, the other thing about this is sweet potatoes create runners. So I've been over here clipping off all the runners. They're actually really good. You can chop them up, the leaves and the stems. You can chop it up and put them in salads. But my chickens really love it. It's like a delicacy for them to have sweet potato stems. So they get to have that. So that is what my garden looks like. Here's Rodney's pepper garden. So out of all those peppers we grew, this is it. So I think we need a little bit stronger of a game plan in the future, but we're getting there. So we'll talk about the future. So this is my garden. Obviously it's a little too small for all my aspirations, but you know, you don't know until you learn. So we are going to build here. So I'm going to create a gate right here, and there'll be a little walk path, so I'll be able to get to the back side of my garden and pick things, because it is 4 feet wide and it really is hard to reach over. We do need to work on trellising this back in because of the weight of the wood is pushing it out. So we've got to figure that out this fall. And then over here, I'm going to build a really nice butterfly and bee garden, which will be beneficial for here. So there won't be anything here other than some plants. I don't know how far I'm going to go out, but remember I said that my corn will not rise in a flower bed, in a raised flower garden. So my cornfield will be right here. So I'll have 2 rows of corn, and we're just going to grow right here the whole length of it, and maybe get a couple of ears of corn. Eventually the goal would be is somewhere out there is to have a really nice tunnel greenhouse where I can grow year round, and it's close enough to the house and electricity so it won't be as hard, because the other place was way over there. And that's a little hard for water and everything. So we're trying to bring it closer to the house. And then we can use that for a playground and everything. So I don't know if you've heard the roos down there. They're crowing. They are looking to get out and get started for the day. So I guess I should end this. And we'll take a break. And I'll run you up to my other rogue flower garden. Sorry, not flower garden. I wish I had a flower garden. My other rogue tomato garden. And you can see. All right, hold on. And I forgot to tell you, that bush right there in the foreground is a bunch of vines that have grown onto a dead tree. And I was telling Rodney we needed to cut it down. I accidentally got Yaz's Frisbee stuck on that. I believe that is wild blueberries. So I need to get an app and take a picture of it and verify. Otherwise, I got a ton of wild blueberries on my property, and I did not plant those. All right, we're at the pool. Here is Rogue Tomato Garden number 1. He did really good. You can see I still have tomatoes coming in. We did have last year a bunch of tomato plants here, but they all died because of the sun and the heat. So we just dumped the buckets over to move the dirt, and we just scraped everything up against the wall, and they popped in. So this is where I've been picking all those tomatoes you've been seeing. So you can see I've got a lot here to harvest. So we'll come out tomorrow and harvest some of those. So that is number 1. Then back here at the end of the pool, there's tomato plant number 2 with my rogue garden. And he's got some, picked a lot off of him the other day. So he's ripening up, and he's got a lot of new green ones. So there'll be another round coming here shortly. And rogue number 3 is back there on that metal stick. When we stood everything up to get him off the ground, he just didn't survive. So, hey, I lost one, but I guess I gained one at the front of the porch. So, all right, well, there's the back of the property. This morning I heard a cow mooing back there. So he must have been on the back side of my property. But I guess they've moved on because he stopped mooing. So, all right, well, have a good morning. Bye. Remember earlier when I said about this bush with a bunch of vines, and I told Rodney he needed to cut it down? Well, this is a closer look at it as I walk down to it. Came down here because I got Yaz's Frisbee stuck in here. But look what I see. If anybody is a better naturalist than I am, what do you think? Are these wild blueberries? Comment, let me know. I will take a camera. I mean, that's a good thing about the phones and internet these days, is you can take a camera picture and download an app. Unfortunately, some of these apps are way too expensive because they know people only download it for a week to get what they want and then don't subscribe for the full year. So they try to make their money on the first week, but then kill you after that. So I will find out if nobody seems to know, but they are certain looking like wild strawberries, wild blueberries to me. I did learn this morning when watching one of my home shows that the difference between a wild blueberry and a blueberry you see at the store is literally the size. A wild blueberry is much, much smaller than a homegrown blueberry where they have put it out on the farm. So that's what's making me think, after having watched that show, making me lean pretty heavy, that I have some wild blueberries, and I got some blueberry bagels I want to make. I might have them. All right, we'll let you know. And it is still the 16th of September. I just wanted to give you a chance and show you the chicken coop area. So Rodney and I built this, and this is where the chickens live. Right now it's springtime, or summer, so it's really easy and it's easy going. So we'll go visit the girls because the girls are polite in the morning. The boys are a little antsy pantsy, and sometimes they'll jump. I think that's called attacking, but I call it jumping. So this is where the girls are living. Say good morning, girls. Good morning. And I'll go get them some worms here in a second, but we got a present. Come on out. So I had put 4 ceramic eggs in here so that I could have, they'd have something to nest on. But look at that. A nice warm egg. So I got a present this morning. Say thank you, girls. Thank you. And I call him Blackie. He's usually the one that's nicer to me. Whitey over there doesn't like me too much, but we'll get over it. All right, well, let us see the next ones. So I keep everything hidden in here. Get a handful of worms. It'll probably help if I have to edit this a little bit, but sorry. And the last bit of the morning chores for today is a little bit of watering out in the garden. We just have a sprinkler system in the middle. Hopefully one day we'll have a true irrigation, drip irrigation that will run through there. Got to build the greenhouse still. And the hardest ones of all, so here's some lemongrass here to help to keep away some of the pests and mosquitoes. He gets enough water on his own. We had to relocate my berry bushes because they were getting too much sun and were drying out and dying. I thought I had lost one of my lindenberry bushes over there. You can see how it's all a stick, but look at that little bit of growth coming in. So it looks like I did save one lindenberry bush, both of them, so I'm lucky with that. It's got blueberries here and some raspberries. These guys do get a little bit of water because they're on the edge of the deck, so they get down. But the ones that I tend to miss every single week, changing it to shower, is got lavender here right by the front door. So come in and hopefully you smell lavender and go into the messy house that's still under construction and you're calmer. Hasn't worked yet, in case somebody wanted to know. All my herbs, I got some mints. There's all the basil that I collect to go on top of my caprese salads that I've been making because I have tons of tomatoes. Gonna learn how to one day to make some mozzarella. probably never going to learn to make balsamic vinegar. I'll just learn to buy it. But you know, it's nice because you come out in the morning, you get your tomatoes, you come out and you pick your basils, you add your mozzarella, and you got a nice fresh salad for work. And then there is my pansies I've been trying to grow. I did grow them, but of course I forgot to come out and water them. So they're not doing too well. There was a purple flower the other day. I was really excited. And then I failed to water. So that's what happens. So I need to get better about irrigation, need to get better about watering. Just been busy trying to do some things, get myself in trouble. Got my bird feeders here, up down here. These are for the natural birds. And then upstairs I've got 2 hummingbird feeders. So I got a new bird feeder this year downstairs and a new one upstairs. Eventually we'll get some more. And the goal is to some of these bird feeders and the hummingbirds is when I build out in the front of my property with a butterfly garden and bee garden I talked about. I'll put some feeders down there too so that we can bring all the wildlife together and hopefully it will have fun. And eventually I got to find a location for my beehives. There's a class I want to go to this fall to learn how to start a beehive. And a lot of people around here that I've been watching on YouTube teach you how to get local bees and raise them instead of buying the bees on the internet and bringing in bees that are not native to the area that struggle apparently more with the climate. So what you have to do is raise the beehives 10 feet up into the tree, prep the little wires where they hang all their cones to collect their honey, and put like an appetizing little smell and a little bit of food in there, and then they collect. And once it gets to a certain point, then you have to do one of 2 things. You either have to lower the beehive from your 10 foot height perch where you had them and drop them just directly below where that is, where it was, and then beehives can grow there. Or you have to cap it, take it 2 miles off your property, leave it there for 2 weeks, open it up, let the bees learn to come back and forth to that so they are attracted to the beehive and not to the location. And then you cap it after 2 weeks, and then you can bring it and put it anywhere on your property after that. I'm thinking I need a double-decker chicken Slovenia beehive house. So then the chickens live on the bottom floor, and that's where their house is. And I can go upstairs to my Slovenian beehive house, and then that would be 10 feet off the ground, so I can collect them, and I don't have to move them, and I don't have to drop them. Now I just have to design and build. What else is new with me? All right, that will be it for the conversations. After this, I will give you a montage of some of the pictures that we've collected of our farming this year so far. I hope you enjoyed.